Hello all! Welcome to the inaugural, which means of course, first ever episode of MoneyBall. I am your host, D-Money, Donovan Scott.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple.
And this man right over here is...
J-Ball.
This guy threw at his own kid in a father-son game.
That's MoneyBall. Thank you so much for tuning in to us today. Brand new podcast we're very excited about. Jay and I have been thinking about this and working on this for a little while. We want to bring something that's a little bit different, not so ordinary, not so mundane, kind of hit on some different subjects, some things that other people might not be talking about, and keep you guys entertained for about 20 to 30 minutes. Isn't that right?
I'm in.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
So today, I was thinking, we're kind of going to bounce back and forth, and we're going to volley with things that we want to bring up. And today I was thinking, with baseball right around the corner, right? Everybody's getting ready for spring training. I know I am. I'll be there next month, going down, checking out spring training.
Go Yankees.
Go Braves. I wanted to go through all 30 MLB ballparks, which I was very, very fortunate enough to be at all 30. Finished it up last summer. I want to go through pros and cons. I want to go through ins and outs. And hopefully you guys can actually find this useful as well if you want to visit some parks this summer. One of the favorite things for myself and my family to do is go visit ballparks. I can, kind of give you some hints on autographs, which parks are better for that. So that's what we're going to kind of focus on this episode. And my partner in crime here is going to kind of interview me and help me out with this whole thing and help you guys out so we can answer some questions for you.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll. Get us started, my man.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So, I think everybody wants to know, what is your favorite? Let's start with your favorite stadium.
So the favorite stadium is interesting.
And you can't pick the Braves.
No, well, as far as, obviously hometown, big Braves fan. Big Braves fan. I get asked this question all the time as far as what is your favorite stadium, and people immediately either go to Braves because it's my favorite team, or is it something with history, right? So is it the Cubs with Wrigley? Is it Boston with Fenway? Yeah, those stadiums are rad. They're great. You go in there, you get chills. As far as the history that was there. But I got to say, my favorite stadium of all 30 was the Anaheim Angels Stadium in California.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Yeah, and that's usually the exact reaction I get is that.
A team that doesn't get nearly as enough TV time as they should.
No, they don't. I mean,
and
at the time, when I was there, they had no Trout. They had no Ohtani. I mean, I don't know who they had at the time, but I don't even know what year it was. I'd have to break all that down.
Did they have Tim Salmon?
They probably had Tim Salmon, yes,
okay.
To be honest. But it was, a lot of it is kind of the settings, the time of day, maybe the mood. It was just Trish and I, my wife Trish. Most of these was just Trish and I. The kids were on a few of these, but predominantly this was pre-kids. And then, when we wanted to finish these off, the kids stayed at home. 10-year-old, 7-year-old, 3-year-old ballparks. Not the best burrito right now, right? So,
yeah, exactly.
As much as you want to, lie to yourself and say, my kids love baseball and everything else, man, they're there for the hot dogs and the popcorn, and you spend $200 on that stuff. So, the Anaheim, the sunset was behind us. They have a really cool waterfall in the outfield that was flowing, and it was. I remember we were down first base side, first row toward the outfield. And just kind of, screwing around with some players out there, screwing around with the fans, some of the ushers and police. And it was just the best experience I've ever had there. And it was a super cool ballpark. It was kind of laid back and chill. There was nothing real exciting about it, but that would be my number one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned not every ballpark is ideal for kids.
Right.
So give me the ballpark that you liked most for your kids. And then I want to hear which one you would probably never take your kids to.
Okay, excellent question. I'm sure most folks, if you are planning kind of summer vacations or stuff around the ballparks, I'm assuming kids are probably going to be part of that. So just this past summer, Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, was surprisingly amazing.
Yeah.
For kids. It had a whole section for kids. It almost had like a little mini amusement park. I don't know if it was a Ferris wheel, but they were a little carousel. They had all kinds of stuff for kids to do. It was really cool. Kaufman, Minnesota had a little something. PNC Park, which is in my top 5 for sure. Super underrated. Super value for your ticket. Pirates are starting to play well. They're going to be a good ball team, and
O'Neal Cruz.
Cruz, a lot of some other young guys that they have coming up, but for the money you pay too, which is also a factor, right? You look at kind of bang for your buck with this, and PNC Park, I think hands down, $10-15 ticket. There's really no bad seat in the place.
Yeah,
they have a nice kids section.
How do you go wrong?
You can, and that stadium's got an old feel to it. When you're in that park, it almost feels like it's like a Fenway or a Wrigley, the way they designed it. One of the guys was telling me one day, I was BSing with one of the ushers or something. He was kind of telling me how they designed it and stuff, and I didn't pay enough attention to be able to share it. But it was based around old ballpark. We did a tour of the stadium too, and they were mentioning that, but. Cool stadium. Everything there is Roberto Clemente. I mean, from the name of one of the hot dogs to the statues to when you take the stadium tour, that guy meant so much to that city.
He meant a lot to a lot of people, not just that city.
I mean, right? Potentially the best ball player ever.
I mean, he's top 10. You got to probably put him in the top 10.
And to have it so tragically cut short. You know the whole story with that?
Yeah, he was flying back home to. Provide food and
they had
and supplies?
Was it earthquake or earthquake? I think. Yep, and exactly that.
Yeah.
Dominican Republic.
So sad.
I could be wrong with that. Dominican Republic or Haiti. But yeah, flying back. Now here's an interesting thing. 3,000 hits on the nose.
Yeah, I think I remember.
I think I told you that maybe. He never got to 3,001. He got to 3,000 hits that summer. And I think, obviously, it was the last game that he played, ever, that kept standings. I don't recall whether or not they were in the playoffs that year, because, it wouldn't count toward the hits. But 3,000 hits on the nose. Roberto Clemente never got the opportunity to go into next season and hit, his 3,000 and first hit, which to me is just...
It's still awesome. He got number 3,000.
And how amazing, though, that, if there's any type of silver lining or whatever you want, I'm a huge karma guy, right? I'm a Buddhist karma all the way, man. And 3,000 and to go out that way is, to me, that's an incredible energy universe type thing.
Yeah, the guy was definitely beloved by so many people and countries and I can tell you, we won't get into cards in this episode, but he is one of the most collected cards in the industry.
Yeah.
I mean, people absolutely love. I mean, his 55 Topps rookie, his 56 are some of the most... Is that what it is?
His rookie's 55?
Yeah, there's some of the most beautiful cards out there, and those cards just aren't going to drop in value.
Right,
right. He's...
I would have to think his autograph's crazy too, right?
Yeah, I haven't even seen one sell. I mean,
any of those guys.
Couldn't imagine.
I know we're going to stray off topic, and that's a lot of what we're going to do is stray off topic. But we promise we're always going to keep you entertained.
That's right.
Autographs, things like that. We're both enthusiasts. I mean, not only are we friends, but we share the same hobby. We share the same
toothbrush.
Georgia Bulldog fans.
Yeah.
Pretty much draw the line at underwear, but toothbrush, yes, for sure. We had a short stint where he had a little bit of plaque issue, and I don't know how much I want to embarrass him, but
it was halitosis.
Well, okay, yeah, halitosis, the bad breath thing.
Yeah.
But he's my dog, so I still use that toothbrush, man. I mean, it's not going to scare me away. It's just I had bad breath, I had to deal with it.
No, and I appreciate that. A lot of respect.
Boom.
A lot of respect.
All right, moving on.
So that's the best atmosphere stadium. So give me the worst. Where should
easy.
Our listeners and viewers never ever send their kids to a baseball game?
Surprisingly enough, the older the Fenway in the Chicago, as beloved as they are not good for kids, in my opinion. They're small, they're narrow. For all the positives, in the baseball enthusiasts and everything else, also there's the negatives. You walk into, have you been to Fenway or Wrigley?
No.
You walk into either one of those, man, like you're crowded. If you're claustrophobic, look out. It's tight in there.
But you gotta go there.
You have to. At some point, if you're a baseball fan, you have to go there. But I would say hands down, and this not only is the kids in every spin of it, man, Oakland. Sorry, Oakland fans, Oakland fans watching, because I know you're out there. Amanda D, I know you're out there. You might be San Fran, but
poor Oakland.
We'll see you in August, by the way,
Oakland
for your
fans.
wedding. But yes, poor Oakland fans. I mean, they can't sell the seats. I remember very vividly this one. There's a couple stadiums that we did not have good seats for. I would say 75% of these stadiums, we paid the money, right?
Right.
Figured, hey, we're going to go once. We're going to check the stuff out. We're going to pay the money. We're going to get the experience.
Get the experience.
100%. Oakland, we did not. We ended up having a good time, right? Because we had good people with us. Trisha's cousins live out there, and I remember, at the time, I was drinking back then. I remember, definitely
had one or two.
Had one or two.
One or two.
One or two. That's where I drew the line. I think it was 1.5.
You've always been really good about drawing the line.
Yes. I was popping tops all day there.
Yeah.
But I will say, Oakland, man, like, you kind of got the vibe everybody wanted to fight you there. And it didn't matter if you were an Oakland fan or not.
Right.
And then they take the whole top deck and they put basically a tarp over it that says Oakland A's because they know they're not going to fill it.
They're not going to sell that.
So just to kind of make it look better. I couldn't tell you who they played. I couldn't tell you who won the game. All I could tell you is...
Could you tell me one player on the team?
Now?
On the A's when you went?
When I went? No.
Okay.
No. Did Marcus Semien? No. The answer is no.
Wow.
I'm just going to stop now. Wait, who's that pitcher that was real good for a couple years?
A's.
Was Sonny Gray on that team?
Is he the one that pitched the no-hitter on Mother's Day?
No, there was Sonny Gray and there was... Let's move on.
They had some good pitchers at one point, right?
They've had great pitchers. They've had Dennis Eckersley.
Tim Hudson.
The two that stick out to me are Eckersley and Dave Stewart.
Yeah.
Probably two best ever. And listen, everybody loved the A's when you were growing up because they had Mark McGwire and they had Jose Canseco.
The Bash Brothers.
The Bash Brothers. Everybody loved them. Bash Brothers, speaking of that.
Look at that.
This is honestly pure coincidence. I brought this in from my truck today and told Jay, check this thing out. And it's Jose Canseco signed card. So
here, let me see that. I'm going to...
check it out.
I'm going to put that... Look at this guy. Just shows up with a Jose Canseco auto. Look at those arms.
What do you think of giving that away?
I mean, we could. I'm not against it.
I think every episode, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you were thinking with that?
Well, you want to grab the wheel?
Yeah, I sure do.
Let's do it.
Here comes the wheel.
So I don't know if we're going to do it every episode, but we're talking about doing some giveaways.
Yes, sir.
I mean, who doesn't like some free stuff?
I know I do.
So I'm thinking we're going to be on every podcast outlet, but also on YouTube. So each video that we post, the first 13 comments will get a spot on the big wheel. Pretty sure there's 13. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say 13. We'll
stick with 13.
We'll say 13, right? And
if not somebody lucky, you'll get 2 maybe.
There you go. And
13.
And our very next episode, the first thing we'll do is spin the wheel.
I love it.
And whoever wins it.
And whoever wins it for this one, this just happens to be what you're going to get. Now, this is pretty cool. This is a Topps Chrome Black on-card signature Jose Canseco card. Actually, really, really nice card. We're going to be generous here because it's our inaugural blast-off launch show. And yeah.
I mean, that's probably $35, $40 card easy. It's got a gorgeous signature on it. So.
Yeah, it's probably more than that.
So let's not.
Yeah, let's move on though. That's what we're gonna do.
Let's not concentrate on Jose though.
Right. So as far as outlets, absolutely, Jay hit on it. You're gonna find us on YouTube. You're gonna find us on Apple. You're gonna find us on Spotify. You're gonna find us on all the major outlets. We are going to gain traction. We are going to be in your living room and in your car and all over the place. So we just want to thank you guys, obviously. For
not in a creepy way.
Not in a creepy way.
Yeah.
We're not going to be everywhere.
Like I don't want people to be like walking through their living room and they'll be like, "Is that Donovan?
Is that MoneyBall? Is that the MoneyBall crew?"
Right. Like
yeah. You can take a shower without Jay peeking in.
I don't want to scare people.
I'm not promising I won't be peeking in on those showers, but this dude probably won't be.
No.
Right?
No,
I can't promise
I won't.
that.
You can't. I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Voyeurism.
Well, let's keep going.
Let's roll.
All right. So.
Who doesn't like a good peeping Tom?
I mean, we all do. So I want to know. I like to eat. Okay.
Yes, you do.
It's no secret, right?
Mm-hmm. No.
It's out there now.
You like to eat.
What's
your favorite food of all time?
Oh man,
I mean, just boom. You can't think about it too long. What's your favorite food?
I mean, my favorite one food. I mean, I just love a fresh watermelon. I mean, it's my favorite thing.
That is the most unique. You know, only this guy would give an answer like that.
I'm telling you,
I love it. First of all, that's what I love about this dude is his originality, his creativity. But like, he's just spitting that from the top of the dome here, right?
That's
watermelon.
It's from the heart. It's coming from the heart.
I don't know if I asked 100 men if any of them would say watermelon, right?
Maybe it's not the right man you're asking.
Ask me what my favorite food is.
What's your favorite food?
It's pizza.
Pizza.
Yeah, right? And I know it's generic, and I know it's the boring generic answer, but I like pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just shocked millions by my answer.
There's no question. Watermelon, boom.
Yeah, watermelon. I'll take
burgers too.
I'll take a good watermelon. In the.
So I got a watermelon. I dice that baby up, right? And now you haven't eaten for like a couple days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dice up the melon. It's a whole melon, so it might fill you if you eat the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm picturing it now.
I got a cheese and pep from your favorite pizzeria.
Oh,
Little Caesars.
It's not even close. I'm taking the watermelon.
Little Caesars, top of the line. You missed that, flew right over your head.
I did.
So you
Tony's.
You got a Tony's right from the oven with the guy with the chef. You know, he's got the mustache and everything.
For sure,
right? The dude's got the mustache, and you're gonna take that melon
all day.
Wow.
All day.
Wow.
All
Okay.
day.
All right.
So give me. Where should I go to have some of the best food out there? Stuff that and I don't want pizza, right? I want something that's going to be like, oh man, this is cool.
Okay.
This is awesome.
So I think the more modern the stadium, the more outlets you're going to have for food. So a couple of the new parks. We just went to Texas, the Globe Life. I want to say it's called Globe Life Stadium.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny walking up to that because the old stadium is right next to it, right? Now, what they did here, from what I understand, the Rangers still could not fill seats. And they couldn't fill seats because they couldn't get the players to come and play for their team. And this is a true story from what I understand, one of the biggest problems was how hot it was. I mean, it's Texas in the middle of July, right?
Yeah.
And you're hanging out in the outfield, and these guys were like, this is brutal. And I guess players, because of just the way it was structured, if you think about Miami's retractable, Tampa's a dome, California's California, so it's never really too hot, right? But I mean, if you think about it, as far as demographically, Texas, they couldn't hack it. They didn't have retractable. So this beautiful stadium that's only about maybe 15, 20 years old is right next to the new Globe Life. So I'm walking up with Trish, and I'm like, man, this is beautiful, the stadium, right? And then the guy's like, no, man, it's right here. and I mean, this new one looks like a barn.
It wasn't the right place.
No, bro, it looks like a big white barn. It's not sexy. It's really not. There's no sex appeal to the stadium. The old one, I love, and I hadn't been to it, but just from the exterior. To answer your question, so we go. That one has amazing food because we walked into that, and then I did not like the echo of it, the very Rogers Center type feel. I'm not an indoor baseball guy. Tropicana, Rogers Center, this one, Houston.
Now I'm looking right
Minute
here.
Maid. Like, you go to these stadiums, man, and when they're playing baseball indoors, to me it just doesn't feel like a baseball game. The crack of the bat sounds different, right? The roar of the fans sounds different. I mean, when you think of baseball summer afternoon, what do you think of? You think of a hot dog.
Absolutely.
You think of Cracker Jacks.
A
You
beer.
think of a beer.
Yeah.
And outside,
Right.
crack of the bat, right?
Absolutely.
And that, you just don't get that. You lose that with these environments. The food, though, was phenomenal because they had, like, Bubba's Pig Roast. I mean, these places are so commercial now that they're going. Basically, it's kind of sad, right? Because it's a lot of, you can tell it's very corporate.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to sell, I think, more sweets than anything. So it's real corporate, with the exception of a McDonald's. I think, like, legit, there was, like, a Little Caesars in there. You know what I mean?
You do love your Little Caesars.
There was one in there. Now that we're on the Little Caesars, I want to say it was in there. But every stadium has their own spin on a hot dog.
So going on that, you mentioned the Texas Rangers. Now I'm looking here, and they're known for their alligator corn dog.
Can't say that I had that, nor did I see it.
Yeah, okay.
But
Okay.
I do go when I'm walking into each park, and this is something that I picked up. So 1999 is when I started this. Shout out to my boy Timmy Mans. We started this in 1999 in Arizona. Chase Field. Once I went and kind of just fell in love with the concept, I'm like, boom, I'm going to go to every stadium. So it took 20 years. But then what I started doing was researching. This is how ridiculous it got. I would research their specialty dog, right?
Yeah.
You got the Comiskey dog. You got this. You got that. I mean, everyone's got their own dog. And they're really hard to find a lot of the time. You need to know where you're going. So you have to look it up. You have to Google it. And then, you know, Section 117 is the Marlins. They had a Cuban dog, I want to say. Like a Cuban sandwich. Cubano.
Makes sense.
Cubano.
Yeah.
I said Cuban. I apologize to the Latin community. It's Cubano.
Cubano.
I had a Cubano sandwich. Cubano hot dog had the pickle, the pork, the mustard. Right? Excellent. But everyone's got their own take on
good.
it. From the crab fries, that you get at Camden and at Citizens Park in Philly, who also did not have. You know what? Can I interview myself on one?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we're getting
Donovan.
We're getting
D-Money.
Oh.
How many fights did you get in at a stadium, or how many times were you started with at a stadium due to not so nice fans?
Okay.
Can you ask me that?
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead and answer.
2, I believe. It definitely happened in Philly, and it's funny, right? Because what's the reputation of Philadelphia fans?
Yeah. I mean,
right?
throwing snowballs at Santa Claus.
Right? And if their team won the Super Bowl, they would have been furious. If their team lost the Super Bowl, they're furious.
Yeah.
Hurts didn't throw for enough yards, whatever. But the point is, me and another couple that we had met in Jamaica, we stayed in touch with them. And Trish and I called them, and they were from Scranton. We're like, hey, you want to meet at Philly for a game? We're trying to stay in touch with these people. You been out of town on these trips ever?
Yeah.
Like cruises or whatever?
No, not a cruise, but
You anyone who has, you know what I'm talking about. You find these couples, and they're your new best friends. And by the time you leave, you're like, yeah, we got a man, I love you, right? And you're drinking all the time, you're whatever. So
and you never talk to them again.
We tried with these people, and we did. We went and stayed overnight in Philly with them. Todd and Shannon Schupert. They're going to be watching, because I'm going to actually, if I still have their number, I'm going to text them, tell them to check out this
There you
podcast. And we were sitting there hanging out, having some crab fries, which are the salt, the stuff they put on them with the cheese. I don't know what was said. I think they were playing the Braves. Maybe I dropped a cheese fry on the dude.
Sure.
Turned around, man. He wanted a piece. He was losing it. Trish and the girls de-escalated the situation, but Philly, thank you, Philly, for living up to the hype as far as starting with us at the game.
It's a good chance it was Lenny Dykstra. That
Lenny was probably out in the crowd that day,
Yeah.
if he could afford the ticket.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lenny.
No, he's not watching.
No, maybe.
Yeah.
No, he's in jail.
I think he got out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say
Then he stole another car. He's back in.
Yeah, he's done quite a bit.
Bro needs money.
Shout
Lenny,
out to Lenny.
Shout out to Lenny Dykstra. That guy needs the cash, man.
Oh,
He's got ladies he's got to support, and he's got babies he's got to support.
I mean, who was the other guy that was Philly back in John Crook.
John Crook.
Yeah,
but he's legit though.
He was fun to watch. He was just there.
He's a portly fella.
Oh my gosh.
But he could get around those bases.
He could tell you where all the best foods were in the stadiums.
Oh, 100%. I just read a stat, speaking of portly fellas, that were amazing. Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn could have ended his career 0 for 1,199.
Yeah, I saw this the other day.
And finish 300.
Yeah.
Lifetime average. 0 for 1,199. 1,200 at-bats. Strike out every one of them. This dude could finish career average 300.
Yeah. There was some other amazing stat for Tony Gwynn where I saw
they're always on like Facebook and stuff when you scroll.
Like his entire career, he struck out 3 times in a game. Once or twice. It was like something insane.
And you and I are obviously watching the exact same things because it popped up on the. You always get the Maddox ones.
Yeah.
With his control.
Oh, the
he
Maddox.
had in his whole life like X amount of 3 and 2 counts ever, because he had that much control.
Well, and most of those he something about his walks to pitch ratio, and most of them were intentional walks.
Yes.
It was like Maddox is nuts.
Some people, I just feel like they don't get enough credit, and as time goes by, like, and we'll get into this when we get into the hobby a little bit more.
Tony Gwynn is definitely one of them.
He's one, so is Maddox. All these, but what I'm saying is, everybody right now is going crazy for Julio, and rightfully so, right? The kid's great, and Bobby Witt Jr. and all these guys, and even Guerrero Jr., right? A couple years he's in the league and he's already fading out. Like, what is your? This is going to be a great episode.
Already in preseason.
What is your life? What is your lifespan for collecting as a superstar, right? We're gonna go into this at some point, right? Because so for example, how long will Rodriguez be relevant? Bobby Witt Jr. Mike Trout is still super collectible, right?
Right, for sure.
Guerrero's not. I feel like he slept off immensely. You can get a Bryce Harper rookie right now for like $20. Bryce Harper is a freaking legend. Like him or not, that dude is an amazing player. He's only like 30, and he's gonna be he's a Hall of Fame player. He's gonna be a breakout guy. And the guy, he's like, no, we're not into him because we want a rookie who's never played. Let's go for the Gunnar Henderson card. He's never played.
And there's a reason for the Bryce Harper thing, but that's a whole nother episode.
Okay, all right. Well, and this is more his. I want to be educated when it comes to this stuff.
There's a whole thing. I don't agree with it.
Okay.
But there's a whole thing, because I think Bryce Harper's incredible.
I do too. Absolutely. And then we'll have to go with some more examples as well, as far as those guys.
Oh yeah, there's
but break me off a couple more questions.
Yeah, we're about 25 minutes in, so we got about 5 minutes left.
Yeah,
so,
okay. We're going to try to keep everything 30 minutes or less, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the most successful podcast, or at least in our mind. We want to be 30 minutes or less. Catch you guys on a commute, drive to work, and make sure you tune in for the next one.
Now, it sounds like Philly was the worst fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anywhere you went where you're like, man, all the people here are just like so cool, like I want to come back right away?
Atlanta was like that,
yeah.
And I know I'm being a little bit of a homer, but they really were.
Because I know Yankee Stadium's not like that. Like
no,
I've seen
nor Mets
quite a bit go down.
We were in line in Atlanta. It was raining. It was the World Series game. It was raining, and Trish and I said, we're going to give our poncho off our backs to the next because we had another one at the seat.
Oh, I actually love this story.
We're going to give our poncho off the back to the next person that even mentions our poncho or whatever. So we're in line. We're getting hot chocolate. Yes, I don't drink anymore. We're getting hot chocolate. World Series game. Two beautiful people come up behind us, and they say, hey, where'd you guys get the ponchos? I look at Trish, and I'm like, boom, they win, right?
Yeah.
So I take the poncho off my back. I give it to the mom or the daughter. I can't remember which one I gave it to. And they were absolutely blown away by this. And it was, she goes, this was amazing. You guys are amazing. I want you to come and watch some of the game with my husband. It was the World Series. Speaking of Maddox, who was Maddox's catcher for all those years?
Paul Bacco.
Javi Lopez. And it was Javi Lopez's wife, this beautiful woman. She's like, you guys need to come and watch a little bit of the game with my husband. And we're like, no, we're cool. We're like, who's your husband? It was Javi Lopez. The guy was great. We walked over. We took a couple pictures with him, hung out, just a real down-to-earth guy, hanging out with him for a minute. And it was because, of the karma, in which I'll get into in a later episode as well. But we're talking about friendly people at stadiums, and that just happened to be what happened there. It was Javi Lopez's wife, and we gave her the poncho. World Series game down in Atlanta. We're all excited. It was 52 degrees and pouring rain. It's awful.
That is a cool story.
But we won.
I mean, how cool as a Braves fan to somehow basically take the shirt off your back and give it to Javi Lopez's family. Like,
and I was actually, when I was younger, I've been a Braves fan. Sorry, I just grabbed your leg by accident.
It's okay.
Sorry. If you're aroused, I understand.
I am.
Even when I was a kid growing up, Braves fan, and Javi Lopez was one of my guys. I had all the Braves cards and everything else. And then down the road, man, that's just life, right? Like down the road, then I get to meet the guy because of that story. So that was super rad. And there's a few places. I think PNC, Pittsburgh, actually has very, very friendly people, kind of Buffalo-esque, kind of people. Believe it or not, Cleveland. All those kind of, I would say, like the Steel City, right? The Rust Belt.
I've never had a bad experience in Cleveland. I've been to a lot of basketball games, baseball games. And
I think the Rust Belt type are all cool people.
Yeah.
I would put up there with the worst, though. With the Oakland, I would definitely go Toronto. Rogers Center. Just no one's there to watch the game.
Interesting. I didn't have bad experience there.
No?
No.
From the $16 Molson Canadians to the guys watching the game talking about business deals in Chinese the whole time.
It's fair.
Kind of rubbed me the wrong way, you know. Not to mention my earlier point with the crack of the bat indoors.
Yeah. So let me ask you a little trivia question real quick.
Okay.
Javi Lopez, his last year, he played with 2 teams.
Okay.
Who were they?
I think I can give you one of them.
Okay.
Baltimore Orioles.
Yep.
Second one.
Played 18 games.
For the second one?
Yep.
Oh, God. Marlins?
No.
I was impressed I knew the first one.
Yeah. No, I'd give you credit.
Who was it?
Boston Red Sox.
Yeah. 18 games, right? Was that his last season ever?
18 games. He batted $190. That's probably why it was only 18 games.
That was it, though, for him then?
That was it, man.
Yeah, he probably, like, retired and they said, hey, come up and play or something.
Yeah,
right?
he hung on maybe a season or 2 long, you know.
A lot of these guys do.
But who doesn't, you know, except... Whoa.
Let me say this.
Well, the one camera went out. I think we got a 30-minute max on that.
Okay. Let me say this. If you're considering doing the stadiums, right, and doing the tours, please leave comments. We're going to get our email address up there. I want to give you guys tips. I want to tell you guys who has kind of the best of everything. You know, we'll really dive into it, right? All the way down to parking, you know, and easiest ways to access these stadiums. I also do the spring training every year, which I can tell you down in Florida, which are the really, really cool ones. I have a lot of autograph tips. If you want to leave in the comments or email me, I'm very, very happy to help you guys. And
That's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, autographs, you know, for the kids and stuff, there is definitely ways to do it.
There are tricks.
There's tricks, especially down in spring training, man.
And you know way more than I do.
Yeah, but it's fun. If you know how to do it, it's fun. So thank you, everybody. How you think it went, Jay?
I had a lot of fun. So
I had fun.
The viewers will let us know how it went, but I had a lot of fun. And,
you guys, hey, this is a democracy, right? If you guys have any tips on anything you guys want to talk about or anything we could be doing better with our podcast, we're here to stay. We're giving this a go. Please, by all means, let us know, and thank you so much for tuning in.
All right, we'll see you later, guys.